very tough. I wouldn't even call it a debate because there's really not any debate about these matters right here.
It's going to be tough on you.
Okay. What we know about the U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. President Donald Trump says the U.S. has carried out a successful bombing attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, and they have been obliterated. On Sunday, the Pentagon said it will take time to fully assess the effect of the attack, though it appears all the sites sustained extremely severe damage. Israel says they were in non-coordination with the U.S. in full planning the strikes. Sorry about that. Israel says they were in full coordination with the U.S. in planning the strikes. Iranian officials have confirmed the facilities were struck, but denied it had suffered major blows. The strikes mark a significant escalation in the ongoing war between Iran and Israel. So, let's just start from right there. I know we got a little bit of a little tidbit of the conversation about what's surrounding this whole entire situation. So, what do you think, Steve? Is this a good thing that's happened here with Iran and the USA, or with us attacking Iran? Do you think this is a positive step in the right direction? Because the first thing Trump said was, "Hey, we bombed you. Now it's time to talk about peace." Do you think peace is?
What have I always said? What have I always said? What have I always said? Peace through strength. That's how you have to do it. In a world that we live in today, you have to have the strength to go with the peace. If you don't, you're never going to get them to listen. You're never going to get them to come to the table. You will never get them to actually sit down and have talks. We've seen it for 40 plus years since that theocracy came into power and took over the embassy in Iran. Has been nothing but bad news coming out of that country.
So how did that end up happening? Who overthrew, the original government, then inserted a king in place there, or a Shah? I think it was a Shah.
It was a Shah. 45 years ago, I was only a child at that time.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really politically minded. So what I look at now, I don't really give a rat's ass what happened before that. I give a rat's ass about what's happening now. So I don't care about 1980.
When you can't control their government anymore, when you no longer can control what's going on in that country, you decide now it's time for you to bully and try to. All right. That's what's happening here.
Well, before you go there, what kind of country are we talking about?
What kind of country are we talking about? You please tell me, because
we are talking about a theocratic country where they kill gays, they rape and murder women because they don't listen.
I mean, you know this because you. I mean, is this just things that you've heard, or this is what you know?
That's their religion.
They kill. I mean, honestly,
you don't believe that? Then you're crazy.
No, honestly, I feel like religion as a whole.
Wesley, have you ever spent time in the Middle East?
No, I have not.
I have.
So to say, okay, so you've witnessed them raping and killing women because they didn't listen, and you witnessed them kill gays. I'm asking.
You ever read the Quran?
I've read the Bible too.
I've never witnessed it.
I've read the Bible. I've read the Bible, and I've heard things in the Bible that will make me cringe at this point in time too.
You have seen reports of people in the Middle East getting thrown off buildings because they're gay.
I've watched things go on here in this country because people are gay. Let's not act like we don't. What we do a lot of times, we conflate. We conflate things that happen.
No, you can't.
One-off things.
It's not one-off. This happens every goddamn day.
Every day, people are just dying, being thrown off buildings because they're gay over there, right? So it's probably a lot of people dying in our country because of this too. We cannot sit back and allow like what the media says or one little thing that happens and like, oh, this is who they are as a nation. We know that like over 50%, or I think it's like 50 or 60% of the people who are engineers who are coming out of college engineers are women in Iran. We don't really even know anything about Iran. We only know what they say. We don't know enough. This is what I'm saying to you. We sit back and we act like these things. Oh, it's theocratic. Look at what we're doing right now. We're trying to make our kids read the 10 Commandments in school in our country. Let's stop this, man. We can.
But we're not a theocracy. We don't live our lives by
what did Trump just trying to do in the federal government when he's trying to insert the lady to come in and say whoever's not Christian, and they're trying to fire them from their federal jobs. This is
what are we talking about? Are we talking about Iran, or are we talking about the United States?
Both.
Okay.
Because you cannot sit back and act like you said, who are we talking about as a nation? Let's not put down that nation and we don't even know the truth.
Why would the United States bomb nuclear sites? Why?
Control, but over Bibi Netanyahu. This dude
No.
right here. Do we know how many nuclear?
Do you know how far? You know how far along they were
question.
enriching uranium over there?
They were at 60%.
You know the fact.
They were at
62%.
Okay, and 2 months ago, what did Tulsi?
20. You only need 20.
No, it's 90%. 90%. It's not. That's not.
No.
90%. It's
only,
90%.
Hold on.
It's 90%.
For a nuclear weapon, yes, but you only need 20% to have power. To use it for power.
Let me ask you this question: if it's me, I'm going to make a nuclear weapon too.
Why would you need over 60%?
Because you got a country like because you have a genocidal country like Israel sitting right next door to you.
So that's
why. Yeah, I would.
Stabilizer in the region, a nuclear weapon.
My goodness, no, we already give it to them. They stole it from you. You know that Israel actually stole nuclear secrets from America, right? You know that, right? That's where they got their nuclear bombs from. You know that they're a country right now. They don't even allow in nuclear inspectors into their country, right? But you want to be worried about the country that does? I'm more worried about a country that just killed 60,000 people, men, women, and children in their nation. I'm more worried about them than I'm worried about Iran, who's not done anything like that.
Do you know Iran has not complied with anything from the IAEA at all since the JCPOA went into
okay, so
not zero, Wesley, zero. They haven't complied one goddamn bit.
Oh, so has Israel even given them any access at all? Any?
To what?
To all 90 or up to 400 of their nuclear bombs they have in their country right now. Any of them? Any of them?
IAEA doesn't monitor.
You know, one of our presidents, they monitor nuclear sites. They monitor nuclear sites. They monitor nuclear sites.
Right. They don't monitor weapons.
Okay.
They monitor nuclear sites.
But they have not.
So your facts are wrong.
They have not even admitted they even
Wesley,
have nuclear sites.
Your facts are wrong.
Your facts are correct. My facts are actually correct. These same people,
the IAEA does not monitor nuclear weapons. Correct. They only monitor nuclear facilities and whether or not they are following the rules. And they don't. Iran does not.
And so Israel has not even allowed them to monitor their nuclear facilities at all to even let them know if they do have nuclear bombs or not. That's why they can't monitor any of that stuff. That's a fact.
I'm going to look that up. That is not a fact.
Okay, that's a fact, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep on going, and I love your passion about the situation. I do. I admire it almost to a degree, if it were not misguided. However, with this country right here that we're talking about, Israel, how can anyone?
For fact. This is for fact.
Okay.
The International Atomic Energy Agency is involved with Israel due to its role as a member state and its nuclear program. While Israel is not a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, it is an IAEA member and has placed some of its nuclear facilities under agency safeguards. Hello, facts.
So some of them, not all of them, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you're saying that they don't have anything.
It does matter.
No, you just said, and you
actually
stated,
does matter.
And I quote,
it actually does matter. So we're okay. No, so we're okay.
You just said Israel doesn't allow them in. That is not right. That's false.
To some, as I just said,
you said zero. You said zero. You said zero.
They have nuclear weapons.
Facts are facts, Wesley. Facts are facts.
They have
and your facts are wrong. Again.
They have nuclear weapons. Right?
Your facts are wrong again.
Do they have? Does Israel have nuclear weapons?
Your facts are wrong again.
You don't want to answer that question. It doesn't matter.
What?
Okay.
You just
read it out loud yourself. You said some of their facilities. This is what you said.
The
some,
IAEA
right? Some, right?
Also monitors. Yes, but
Keep
you
going.
said zero. You said
Keep
zero.
Going. I said they don't let. Zero. I said they don't monitor any of their nuclear bombs at all. Any of their stuff that they have.
IAEA does.
Keep going.
The IAEA also monitors radiation levels and provides updates on the situation following Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. That's where it ends. But what I'm telling you is, you just got done saying that the IAEA isn't even allowed in Israel, and that's not true.
They do not monitor any of their nuclear sites that they don't want them to monitor, which is a lot of them. Where they have their nuclear bombs at. That's what
they don't monitor bombs.
That's a fact.
They don't monitor bombs. How do I get that through your head?
You've already got.
How do I get that through your head?
You've said it several times.
And you're still coming back with the wrong facts.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, so if I'm only monitoring a few of your facilities, then the other ones must have something in them that you don't want me to see, right? Right or wrong? Correct?
No, I'm not part of the IAEA.
Okay, and like everyone knows,
Israel's not even allowing them in.
And whenever
that's what you
obviously
said.
they're not. They said some. So that means okay, I have a
But
bunch
you
of other
said
facilities
zero.
that you're not. I have
But
a
you
bunch
said
of other,
Israel's not allowing them in
I have
at
a
all.
bunch of
And your facts are wrong.
Okay, you said that 22 times. I have a bunch of other
and
facilities.
you
If I got
100,
if I got 100, I didn't say I didn't agree with that or not. If it says it right there, then that's what it says. Well, if I got 100 facilities and I let you look at 22 of them, what does that say to you? If I'm Iran, I'll let you look at all mine, but you're saying I'm not complying with what you want me to do, but I'm the bad guy. What does that say to you? So anyway, let's move. Let's keep on going forward, because we all know, everyone knows Israel has nuclear weapons. They're a genocidal country. This is the facts. These are all facts right here. They have over either anywhere between 90 and 400 nuclear warheads ready to go right now. And so we're angry.
Are they threatening anybody?
Okay. What are we talking about? You don't have to threaten. They're not going to threaten to use something they haven't even acknowledged that they have. They haven't never acknowledged that they even have these.
Do.
No, they
obviously do. If the IAEA is over there monitoring their nuclear program,
they're monitoring the nuclear. They're monitoring their nuclear program.
Your suppositions are so wrong.
They're monitoring their civilian nuclear program. That's what they're letting them see.
Yes,
you got to reread.
That's all they need to see. Why they are not part of
your nuclear sites. So okay. Thank you very much for answering my question and completing everything I just said to you just now. That's what you just said just now.
What?
Thank you very much. So all that bluster, you said that's all they need to see.
That's because they don't monitor weapons. Wesley,
listen,
they don't monitor any weapons.
Okay, so you just said they don't have any
weapons.
You just said you don't know if they have any weapons, right?
You said they're not even allowed in the country.
So we're let's not gossip.
Your facts are way off.
If I lead you into the country and be like, hey, you can look there, and there, but you can't look over here. Let Iran go do that. Okay, let Iran go do that.
They have done that.
You know what I mean? They're not doing it. They haven't done it recently.
That's why the IAEA said they were not following
direct. You said they are not complying. No, I think they're not complying by having uranium enriched by 60%, and they don't need it there. But anyway, the fact that let's keep moving. Let's keep going on, because I mean, it's just the whole point there is just crazy to me that you would try to create that kind of a narrative based off the fact that.
But you lied. You lied to everybody that's watching. Saying that IAEA is not allowed in the country.
They don't allow.
Okay, that's exactly what you said. You lied to everybody watching this program because your facts were wrong.
Do you know what people won't say? They won't be mad about the story. They won't be mad about me mistaking the fact that they're only allowed into some of their nuclear facilities. Some, right?
You said zero.
So very few. Oh my God! So like I said, if I got 100 and you only let me see 22 of them, but then you don't even tell the world you have nuclear bombs, was I really wrong? Let's be honest here.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you were really wrong.
Whatever you say, and I'll take that. I'll take that on the head. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not gonna say, okay, maybe my facts were a bit off, but they weren't far. They weren't far. And it wasn't an intentional lie, or you know what I'm saying, anything like that. Period.
From zero to some is a big difference.
Okay, whatever you say. But like I said, okay, let's get back to the facts on hand. Thank you very much for finding out that they were allowed into a partial amount of their facilities.
I have something I need to bring up here.
Yeah.
So, who is the biggest destabilizer in the Middle East?
The USA.
And that's according. That's no.
The USA and Israel.
According to every country in
the USA
every modern
and Israel,
country.
I believe.
No, that's not true. It's Iran. They're the only ones that call they. And I'm gonna.
Iran is like one of the only. I think they're Shia Muslims over there. I think they're Shia Muslims, and most of the other ones are not. They're Shiites. The rest of the other countries are Shiites. That's the problem that they have with most of the other countries over in that region.
Listen, I've got a quote that my wife came up with earlier, and this is probably not something new. This is about Iran. If they're going to stir the shit, they need to learn how to lick the spoon, because that's their problem. They are shit stirrers over there.
I think the biggest one over there that stirs up the most is Israel. Me
personally, that's your opinion, but the facts are wrong. Your facts are wrong again.
I don't see how. I mean, Israel's
call
for
Israel's call for
that's your opinion.
Israel's call for opinion, but the facts are. The facts are the facts. And you can go to France, you can go to England, you can go to Germany, you can go to whoever you want.
Every single one of the people who are friends with Israel.
Saudi Arabia, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, so
go to the Middle East. All those people that signed the Abraham Accords will say that Iran is. You don't like the Abraham Accords?
I'm just saying, if these people are signing accords with the United States, knowing that, okay, let's look at it like this.
Do you like living in the United States?
I like living in the country that I like living in the perception of what this country should be. Yeah, I absolutely do. I'll never. That's not a factual thing. But the United States has for a long time as being a person who is a citizen of the United States. That doesn't mean I cannot criticize my country, right?
I'm not saying that, but
yeah, that sounds like exactly.
But your
what you're
facts
saying.
are wrong. Your facts are wrong again.
So who called for?
Don't look up how many reports. How many reports out there that say that Iran's not the biggest destabilizer?
Who called for the overthrow of Iraq, Iran, Syria, Libya? A bunch of who called for that in the 90s?
Obama did it too.
In the 90s, Obama.
We
all heard about Obama.
Obama did Libya. Obama did Libya.
I'm not saying that. Nobody's saying that he didn't. This is not now becoming a
divide about regime change. Okay, we are not about regime change.
This is all.
It's not about regime change.
This is all about regime change. Period. This has all been about regime change for a very long time. If you listen to Benjamin Netanyahu and everything he's been saying over there, it's about regime change. 100%.
For him, yes, but not for the United States.
He said it. When we go in
we
there,
are not
and drop bombs for
him.
We're
in the United States.
Yeah, we are. We
don't live over there.
We are the United States of Israel, pretty much. Let's be real.
No, we are not.
80% of our politicians are being paid by Israeli AIPAC. Let's be real. We are. Go look at what Ted Cruz says. Go look at what what's the other guys? Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio. Go look at what they've all said. Look, man, come on, man. Go look at what did Trump do in his first term? He gave Jerusalem to them as their capital. Said, hey, we're going to make this your capital.
What's wrong with that? That's not what they said. They said we're going to put our embassy in Jerusalem.
Okay, yeah, and he helped them.
That's completely different.
Whatever it is, and they came. What we did was we said that, okay, we're gonna break the accord that we made a long time ago, because Jerusalem's supposed to be half and half Palestinian, half Israeli. And we said, no, we're gonna dictate this. I don't want to say it was just an embassy move. I'll leave that alone right now. I don't think it was just an embassy move. I think we're recognizing that as like the something of Israel. I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't want to. I know you'll go back over. It was just an embassy move, and I don't think it was just an embassy move. But we'll leave it at that for now, because I don't have the facts right here in front of me.
Of course,
you know what I mean. But it wasn't just an embassy move. It wasn't just we put our embassy there. You know, yes. But so basically, and on top of all of this, when you're saying that this is not Israel, did Netanyahu, is he the one who said that they're close to getting a bomb? He's the one who's been saying this for a long time, right? Because our intelligence heads, no, that's not true. Our intelligence heads have said that they're not even trying to make a bomb. Tulsi Gabbard came out 2 months ago and said that Iran is not trying to make a nuclear weapon. Right or wrong? Did she say that in committee? Yeah. She said that.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, Trump came out later and said, I don't care what she said. She's wrong. That's what he said about his own intelligence head. This is the person he put in charge. I'm sure he doesn't know. He doesn't know too much of anything. This guy doesn't know anything whatsoever. He couldn't wait to basically text as soon as our people got away from over the ocean. Oh, we just did this and that and the third. He can't wait. Twitter fingers. It's bad business, man. He's a horrible president. And there's a lot of people who follow him who will defend him at any given turn.
Then why do you have a lot of Democrats that are on the side of this?
I just said 80% of our politicians, 80% of our politicians are paid off by AIPAC. 80%. So I mean, this is not Democrat or Republican. This is a thing. Did I like Obama when he assassinated Muammar Gaddafi? No, because Muammar Gaddafi was a good dictator for his nation. He was solid for his nation. He did the right things, the best he could do under the conditions he had.
I can't believe you put good and dictator in the same sentence.
Oh, man, I can't believe we're talking about a country just killed 60,000 people, 60,000 men, women, and children in their country. We're even talking about they should have nuclear bombs, or why are we bombing anyone for them? What are we talking about? So when you do regime changes 24/7, there's some things you're going to have to do to stay leader in your country. We've watched it go on for years and years and years. The United States have done this. Have we not? Are we not allowed to speak on that, or else we're anti-American? Or what the United States has done to destabilize regions? Iraq, we destabilized Iraq, regime change. Syria, we destabilized them, regime change. You know what I mean? But these are the countries that, what did Bibi say in 97 or 98? Then again in 2003, we need to get rid of these countries right here. He's on tape saying this, on record, on video.
Well, listen,
to make it so we have a safer Middle East.
A little what's the word I'm looking for here? Context. A little context. When a country says the United States is a great state and we want to wipe out Israel and the United States, I kind of think that would be a problem.
Let me ask you
this problem. Don't you think?
Let me ask you this question.
That's a problem?
I mean, of course it'd be. Of course it would be a question. I mean, but let me ask you this question right here. Israel is a country, right?
That's what they live for over there.
Israel is a country, right?
That's what that is.
What do they live for?
Who?
To wipe out a nation who's been against them, who's been fighting against them for generations, who's basically spies on the United States, who's supposed to be one of our biggest partners, spies and kills politicians, who spy and kill politicians from all over the world. These people have done this for a long time. Okay, so where's the largest? Where's
every country in the world has done that?
Where's the second largest population?
They are no different.
Where's the second largest Jewish population in the Middle East? Where's it located at?
Second largest?
Yes, after of course after Israel.
I don't know.
Of course, in Iran, the second largest Jewish population is located in Iran.
It's Egypt. I think it's Egypt.
In the Middle East, no, and it's not. It's Iran. Egypt. Trust me. Look it up. Look it up. But you know what I'm saying? Right. But I know you're happy with your one win where you're like, oh, they let them look at their nuclear facilities, but not all. Some. You forgot the word some. The word some speaks volumes. But okay. No. We'll give you that.
But it's more than zero. You said they weren't allowed at all.
Yeah, they're not. I'm talking about into their nuclear. Were they enriching uranium at a point where they're making bombs? They're not letting them in there at all. They're playing a sick game. They've been doing it for a long time. When JFK asked him about it, what happened to him? Not saying they did it, but what happened to him when he talked about it? Hey, we think you guys got nukes in there. We need to come in there and check them out. Next thing you know, hey, we'll let that slide off there too. We won't talk about that, will we? But like I said, the second largest Jewish population in the Middle East is in Iran. So if they wanted to wipe all Jewish people off the face of earth, wouldn't they start at home first? They've been there for over 3,000 years. They date back over 3,000 years in that country.
So when they say that they want to kill all Jews in Israel,
there's a bunch of them that live right where they're at right there. Why don't they get rid of them?
They said
this is an evil. Israel. You just said they kill all the gays in their country. You just said that they're against all the stuff. They're just a murderous regime. Why didn't they kill the ones who were there? Why do they have the second largest population of Jewish people in their country in the Middle East? Why?
I don't know. That was their intent. Like Israel. They do not like Israel.
I wouldn't like a country. I wouldn't like a country who bombs me on a consistent basis, who blows up foreign leaders in my country.
When was the last time they did that? Up until
6 months ago. 6 months ago, they do it all the time.
They don't bomb. They don't bomb Iran on a regular basis.
Whether it's a bombing, whether it's assassination, whether it's a bombing, whether it's assassinations, whatever they do to destabilize, they send in bugs.
Obama did it. Biden did it. Trump
this is what I'm saying. I am against our country. I am against our country destabilizing foreign nations for no reason
or for the whole Middle East region.
No,
Iran is destabilizing.
No, they're not. You know what I'm gonna do if I'm Iran? When I watched you kill Gaddafi for no reason, have him sodomized on camera in front of everybody. When I watched you hang Saddam Hussein for no reason after you told him to go into the basically you do what you need to do about Kuwait, which is a fact, and you hung him. I'm gonna do what I got to do to defend myself too, because I know what you are. That's a fact. So am I against him doing that? No. Do I think that Iran is more stable? Even Trump has said this about. Do I think that he said that Iraq and Libya would be more stable had they not taken out Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein? There's a video. I got it on my page. I can go look it up for us right now and show you the video of him saying this. You know what I mean? So these are facts right now that we're speaking.
They were not theocratic governments either. They weren't living by the law of a book. If that were the case, if they want to kill all infidels.
If that were the case, if this were the case, then they would have been killed. They would have got rid of the infidels who live in their own country right now for 3,000 years. The second largest. Why would the second largest population of Jews live in that country if that were the case? Why? It doesn't make sense. You know it doesn't, but it's fine. You looked it up and you saw the second largest population. It's a fact. It's a fact. I mean, why don't they live in Saudi Arabia? It seems safer for them, right? Saudi Arabia signed the Abraham Accord because it's not safer for them. They're in a country where it is. I'm not trying to sit here and argue with you and fight with you about something that I just don't like the fact that we are led by our noses by a foreign nation, and it's obvious. It's been going on for years, and it needs to stop, man. Period. That's the fact. This should not be happening this way.
That's an opinion. That's called an opinion. That's an opinion.
We don't look at. Are we seriously going to say AIPAC has not been buying elections within our country for a very long time? Basically, pointing out politicians.
Good Lord, what big group has not bought elections in this country? So you're throwing out one group that
I think they have. I think they have the most.
Big Pharma that probably pays more.
I think
Big
they have
Pharma
the
probably pays more.
Yeah, they probably. Who knows if they are part of who owns Big Pharma too? At the same time, let's not act like this arm is just not a one thing. This is we're dealing with a monster here. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and this is not to say about the Jewish people. To say about the Israeli nation. Because I don't think the Jewish people. I don't think the people. I wouldn't call them Jews. The people of Israel don't even like their own government. They don't. They want to get rid of Netanyahu. They want him out.
Not right
of
now.
Power. Yeah, they do. They want him out. I know that you're saying you have a statistic, but they're in bomb shelters. Half of them are right now. So I don't believe that people are really getting a good count. They're probably only counting the people that they want to count. I saw people. I saw a video of them rioting and being angry with the people for even getting them in this. Why you even got us in this situation to begin with for over a lie? Again, another lie. This is what America does.
That's your opinion.
It's not
That's an opinion.
It's not a fact.
Okay, that is not a fact.
What's the name of the IEA International? They said they're not developing a bomb. Tulsi Gabbard said they're not developing a bomb. These are all factual things.
So why do you have 62% enriched uranium if you're not going towards getting a nuclear weapon? When you don't need near that much.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I
can't say. I can't say.
Right, because it's going towards getting a nuclear weapon.
You know what?
You don't need that much enriched uranium to run a country.
I wouldn't care if they got a nuclear weapon. To be honest with you, I wouldn't have a problem with them getting a nuclear weapon. I think it would give them a better seat at the table. Me personally, I don't think that they're as crazy and as off the wall as we give them credit, as we make them out to be. I don't see them just committing genocide in their own countries. I don't see them doing the stuff that other people are doing.
On your show with DMAC, you stated the other day that you wish that all the other Arab countries in the Middle East would go attack Israel.
No, I didn't say attack.
And Israel. Yeah, you did.
I did not say. I did not say attack Israel. I said coalesce around Iran because they need to. It's a fact.
And
they
attack
need
Israel.
To.
And you don't have to say it.
You don't have to say it. You do not have to attack Israel to coalesce and say, you know what, we're not going for this in our region right here. This is not what we're going to be doing. You're not going to get that attack.
All the countries. Let's just say, how many countries in the region are afraid of Iran getting a nuclear weapon? All of them. All of them.
I think most countries are afraid of any country around them getting a nuclear weapon.
Especially Iran.
No one wants that. Pakistan got a nuclear weapon. You know what I mean? And I don't think that Pakistan's government is more stable than Iran. Let me bring up another point here. Do we know that the federal banks around the world, you know what, the countries that don't have federal banks around the world, you know who they were? They were the North Koreas of the world. They were the China. I won't say China, but I know Russia was one of them. Iran was another one. You know what I mean? I think Iraq for a while too. So it didn't have central banks or something like that. You know what I mean? And like this is why a lot of times it's money and other things that help.
What's that have to do with the nuclear program?
It's money. Okay, I guarantee you. I don't want to get into what I believe the central banks are, who are involved in central banks. We can look up who's involved in central banking as well too. You know what I mean? Once you don't let me in here and control.
Hold on. Be careful where you're going there.
Once you don't let me come in here and control your currency, once you don't let me come in here and control certain things about your nation, now all of a sudden you're a rogue state. This is a fact. This is what's been going on for a long time. Libya wasn't involved in it either. That's why they overthrew them as well too. There's no room to be careful. There's room to just tell the truth. This is a fact. These people, this has been going on for hundreds of years. This is a fact. When people can stop, there's more people who are of the Jewish faith who don't like what's going on here. They're speaking out against this. Like, you know what? You guys have been lying to us for a long time, acting like we're a superior race of everyone else.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. You had nothing to back that up with.
Actually, I can show you what's the guy's name.
And I can show you exactly the opposite.
I mean, I'm telling you, people are saying it. I'm not saying everyone's saying it.
But you're saying the majority.
A lot of people are saying a lot of people. I've been watching riots, not riots, almost like peaceful protests in the United States Capitol of people who are Jewish, of people who are of the Jewish faith, coming out, speaking out against this. I've watched it in Israel, speaking out against this. Period. Like, we don't want to fight people. This is not who we are as Jews. There are Jews.
They are in the minority. They're in the minority.
No, they're not. They're actually in the majority. That's why he's afraid. That's why he's afraid to have elections right now. He's afraid. That's why he keeps on. That's why he keeps on attacking new people. So they cannot call for elections. This is a fact. Even Gantz said it. Gantz, it was his defense secretary. He came out and spoke and said, "Hey, man, why are we still bombing Gaza? There's no more Hamas to fight with over here. We've bombed them all out of existence pretty much. This is his defense secretary, who then he got rid of because he didn't want to hear him talking anymore, so he can continue to maim, murder, and kill children, women, and men who have nothing to do with this war. That's why. Now he starts another conflict. Who is the biggest destabilizer in this region right now? Let's look at it.
Iran.
Man, this dude is
Iran.
Now they want to tell you we're going to displace 2-3 million Palestinians and send them to a whole nother country. I'm going to send them somewhere else because we're going to take this land from them. That wasn't even their land 70 years ago. You're not even really originally from there. You're Ashkenazi. That's who you are. Your name's not Benjamin Netanyahu. It's something totally different.
Man. It's the homeland.
Of not his homeland. It's a homeland of other Jewish people. He wasn't from the Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenazi. No, wait. Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenazi Jews.
Where'd they come from? Where'd they come from originally?
They were not from there. They're Europeans. You know that
No.
You know that Judaism.
They migrated from
what is
Israel.
Judaism? What is Judaism? That's a religion, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So anyone, I could be from anywhere. I could be like, I'm a Christian.
Where did it originate?
So if I'm a Christian, it doesn't matter.
Wesley, where did it originate?
So you're saying it's an idea versus a person where their birth is. That's two separate things. That's separate. I can be a Christian, but I'm not originally from where Christianity started. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work like that. It's an idea.
Well, it's like Catholics or Mecca.
It doesn't matter.
Where do they go? They go to Mecca.
So all Catholics are from Rome?
No.
All Catholics are from Rome then, right? No, they're not, because it's a religion.
But that is their center of their religion. Correct.
Not their home, but it's not their homeland. It's not their homeland.
That's the center of their religion.
It's not their homeland. But it's
center of their religion. Two separate things. But Israel is Jews' homeland.
I'm happy that you helped me to think through this whole entire point right here. I'm happy you did, because honestly, I hadn't had this full grasp of what I was just saying until just now.
Don't have a grasp.
I just gave you the best point that you can possibly make. If you didn't see that point, it was a golden point right there.
What, the fact that it's not their homeland?
No, it's not.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, now it doesn't matter. First it mattered. First it was their homeland. That's why we gave it to them, right?
No,
now it doesn't matter.
The homeland is for Jews, correct? Their homeland is Israel. Period.
I think the homeland
for millennia.
You don't get to dictate where a religion's homeland is and take the land from the people who live there because of a religion.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
It's crazy.
Again, here are your lack of facts about world history. Okay, you have no clue about world history at all.
Oh my goodness, I think you are poorly mistaken about that. But go ahead, finish up. This is crazy.
Where in the world do you ever get the idea that Islam, their homeland is there?
Where do you get their homeland is there? I mean,
no, it's not.
We're not.
The Israelis.
Time out. I'm not talking about Islam. I'm not talking about Islam. I'm talking about the people.
Talking about the people. Are Islam?
A Palestinian is a Palestinian. That's who a Palestinian.
They're Islamic.
A Palestinian is a Palestinian. Just like a person who was born in New York is not. They're a person who's born in New York.
Palestine's a location.
Palestine
is a location.
On top of that,
answer the question. Palestine is a location.
So every person lives in every Iranian is a Muslim, right? Every single Iranian is a Muslim, correct?
No.
So that should make your point for you. That should make your point for you right there.
No.
That should make your point for you.
My point is,
you said because they're Palestinian, that means they're Muslims.
The Jewish homeland has always been the Jewish homeland. Always.
This is what I'm gonna say. I think the people who are, I'm not even gonna count the people who are where they're from. That's who they're. Just because you're Jewish does not make you. There's people who are Jewish who live in America who's never even been there before ever, who are not from there, who had no origins there, who had nothing. People who I can be Jewish tomorrow if I want to be. You know that, right? I could become a Jew and become an Orthodox and become a Jew tomorrow.
I completely agree.
That's a fact.
And guess what?
It's an idea. Because it's an idea.
Yeah, but it's still their homeland.
So let's listen. Homelands, man, are just like that's a crazy way of putting something. Your homeland, so you get to take the land that these people live on. Because that's hey, let's go over here. This is our homeland now. It doesn't work like that. But I hear what you're saying.
That's how they. Whoa. Isn't that what the Arabs did when they kicked the Jews out of Israel? When they kicked the Israelis out back in the 15th, like
I don't know the reasons they gave behind it, so I'm not going to answer that question because
because you don't know your world history facts.
You don't even know. You just made it up and going to say something and act like it's a fact. There's been plenty of times
you just really,
make things up and you say it. I can't combat it because we're right here having the conversation. I'm not going to call you out like you don't know your facts. You know what I mean? Unless I know for sure.
A religion? When did Islam
I want to say like 1200 or 1400, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there.
600 AD. Okay. Then you had them take over Israel, and then the Crusades happened. They took it back. Then it went back to the Arabs again, and it had been the Arabs had controlled it for what, 1,500 years almost, not quite 1,500 years, and the Jews took it back. It happens throughout the world, but that was their chosen homeland.
The Jews, most of the Jews who live there right now don't have any origins from that place at all whatsoever. None of them, a lot of them don't. Most of them are Ashkenazi.
Oh my God.
Most of them are Ashkenazi. That's where they came from, Europe. Most of them came from Europe when they came back in and were given the land by Britain and were armed by America and the West. That's where most of them came from, was Europe. You know that. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's not a fact. Is that not true?
No, it's not.
Okay. Like I said,
I want to see that. I'll go look that fact up, and
you should please look that up. You should please do that one because it's a fact, man. And I don't, like I said, I don't have a problem with people peacefully coinciding in the area. They should peacefully coincide in that area together. Give them the West Bank and give them Gaza and let them be. Let them thrive. Don't sit back and hold them down. But the fact of the matter is too, and don't bring Americans into wars that we don't have anything to do with. That's another thing I don't want us doing. Being in a war over lies. Because we were pushing to a war. He lied on the stand to a committee saying that Saddam Hussein had capabilities of a nuclear weapon. Lied. Weapons of mass destruction. Bibi did that, right? He did. On a committee.
All right. Here's
the
United
States government.
You ready for a fact? Prior to the establishment of the state of Israel, Jewish people originated from the land of Israel, also known as Canaan. Fact.
Okay. But we're acting like that being Jewish is not. It's a religion. It's not like, oh, just because you were born over here that makes you this already. It's not that. You got to stop like conflating the two things together. It's not that. I'm sure there were a lot of people. I'm not saying that Jewish people were not from that area, but not all of them were. Not the ones who subjected off.
Okay, listen, I get your point. I get your point. But the problem what I'm trying to convey to you is that part of the world has been for millennia prior to Islam was the Jewish homeland. Period.
And there was a homeland to a lot of people. It wasn't just Jewish people. There were people who were of all kind of faiths from that area. There was. I know that Jewish people have lived in the area for a long time, but I'm not going to sit back and act like the 12 million people who live there now have origins from that area, because they don't. Most of them do not. And most of them converted to Judaism. Most of the people who are in Europe converted to Judaism. They were not originally Jews. They didn't grow up that way. It's different. So we can't act like, okay, there's a difference between a nationality and a religion. There's a difference. It's like a thing. I was born into this because my father, my mother are already this, rather than saying this is our religion, who we are. You cannot conflate. You're putting the two things together. And I think that's where you get mixed. I think that's where we get mixed up at when you talk about how everyone hates the Jews they don't like Israel. It's a difference. There's a difference. You cannot put the two things together because they're not the same. That is like saying because you're born in Israel, you're automatically a Jew, and you're not.
No, you're not. I agree with that 100%.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, and I don't like the fact of the Israeli government running our government and then having us running around chasing everyone around for them and doing regime changes on their behalf over lies. I don't like it. And you put us in bad positions. Oh, Saddam Hussein had a nuclear weapon. That was a lie that Bibi Netanyahu came in committee and said it on committee. Oh, he's been saying since the 90s that Iran was 2 weeks away. I know you saw those. I know you saw those videos.
Yeah.
He's been saying it since the 90s. So were those not lies, or whether he just what was that? If I've been saying that, hey, Steve's about to get a nuke since the 90s and he's never had one since the 90s, was I lying? Or was I just trying, what was I doing? What is that? You know what I mean? Let's be real here. If I'm going to tell you I want regime changes in all these countries and we go in and do it for you, are you telling me someone does not wag the dog there? That's a strange thing. I know you see that someone's wagging the dog here badly, and I'm not with that for our country because it doesn't lead to anything good. Whether it's a short-term victory for us, oh yeah, we bombed them, but long-term, it's not going to help us. We need to look at where the map is heading instead of where it's at right now. And that's all I'm saying. That's my problem. I think Donald Trump said that he was an anti-war president, and he's shown us that he's a pro-war hawk. That's who he is.
He is
Here,
not.
You don't bomb somebody and say, hey, we're ready to start doing peace talks now. After you bomb them.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's peace through strength.
I think he's lied the entire time about his peace talks. I think he's lied and tried to move the needle and try to bully them into doing something that they didn't want to do. Like, hey, man, listen, this is what we're trying to do. We just like he tried to do to Ukraine over Putin. Hey, you got this land's lost. You're not getting that back. He's the worst negotiator on planet Earth. Him and his whole team are garbage. I'm gonna be honest with you. Head sick garbage. You know what I mean? Rubio.
You know what? You voted for garbage. You voted for garbage.
Who did I vote
Kamala, for? Biden. You voted for garbage.
Yeah, I definitely voted for Biden. We weren't doing
and he was garbage
for no reason.
He was effing garbage. He was
look at our economy right now. Look where we're heading with all these tariff talks and dumb stuff that Trump's doing. Trump has done nothing.
You want to talk about war hawk? That was Biden.
Where was he at? What wars was Biden leading us into? Where?
What wars did Trump lead us into? What
Trump
wars
already? Okay, let's say this right now. Trump assassinated. I mean, who knows right now? Who's to say right now? I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion. Let me give you my honest opinion. This is my opinion on the matter. They gave Obama an opportunity because Obama was who they thought who Obama was. He was our first black president that we had here. He had a name like Obama. His father was a Muslim, XYZ. I think Iran gave him an opportunity in goodwill and said, we'll sign this nuclear accord with you, and we will not go after a nuclear weapon.
They signed it in billions of dollars.
They signed it in good faith. Now they got the money that they got was already theirs. That was their money. You know that, right? It was frozen funds that they were taking. That was their money. So let's not act like they got. People lie about that a lot of times.
What they do with that? What they do with that money?
After the fact, I would too. You just kill. Okay, hold on, time out. I think a lot of times, whatever they used the money for, they didn't use it to build a nuclear bomb. They didn't build a bomb. They didn't build a bomb.
Facilities to enrich the uranium to build
after the fact. After the fact, possibly. Who was to say? Who was to say they were building a bomb or not? We don't know.
You gave them the money to do it.
Obama gave them the money to do it. It was their money. They signed the pact. They were not going to build a bomb. Let me finish my where I was heading with this. Then Trump comes in 2016. This is 16 now. As soon as he gets in office, cuts off the deal. Oh, so now
because that deal sucked.
Okay, whatever you want to say, he cut off the deal. So now what am I going to start doing? Okay, the deal's cut off. I can't trust America. I can't trust Israel, especially. They already got bombs. What do I do now? They didn't just need that money. Like that was the only money they had. This is an oil-rich nation. They're an oil and mineral-rich nation. They're one of the biggest oil and mineral-rich nations in the entire world. Have some of the most oil and some of the most natural gas in the world. So stop acting like that was the only money that they had. They got billions of dollars coming in probably damn near every day. But anyways, let me move on.
Good.
Okay, then we get to the point there in 2020, they kill Qasem, I think his name Qasem Soleimani. They kill him, which is their defense minister in Iraq. They assassinate him. What would you do? They didn't do anything about that, which they should have, but they knew they were not in a position to do so.
Why'd they do it? Answer that question.
Because they said, he's sponsoring this, that, and the third. The same stuff that
the mastermind of killing American soldiers.
The same stuff that Putin's been the mastermind of helping kill American soldiers. A lot of other people have killed American soldiers as well.
Why did they assassinate him?
You know what I'm going to do? This is how I'm going to answer. This is how I'm going to answer. This is how I'm going to answer the question. This is how I'm going to answer the question. I cannot say for sure why they killed him because you don't know either. You're just going off what someone else is saying that this is why they killed him. We don't know.
Yes, you do.
Where they kill him at? Where they kill him at? In Iraq? In Iraq, correct?
Syria.
They didn't kill. I mean, how many American soldiers were killed? Do we know that they have bounties? Putin had bounties on American soldiers in Iraq. Is that not a fact too? Just as much as a fact of what you said, this is a fact as well. So Putin didn't have bounties on American soldiers in Iraq.
I have no idea.
Exactly. So just like anybody can say anything now, because is it true or is it not true? This is a fact.
Do you ever read facts? I mean, I'm not exactly sure if you know how to read facts.
I think I just gave you so many facts right now. You've come up one thing. Oh, they let them into some of their facilities. That was the only thing that you had there. You know what I mean? After you read it, you know what I mean? Like, let's just be real here.
You had zero though. You had zero facts.
You know what I mean? Like They're not letting them into their nuclear. They're not letting them into the facilities where they have the bombs. That's what they're not doing. That's what they're not.
Wesley, let's not rehash what you just lost, because the IAEA does not monitor nuclear weapons. Okay, Get over it.
They monitor nuclear. They monitor nuclear facilities. Correct. Okay. And so with them and with the facilities, with that monitoring, what they can tell is what if that facility is being used to enrich uranium to a point to where it can be used for a bomb. Correct or not? So you're only giving me opportunities to look at very few or some of my. They used the word some. That was very nice of them to use the word some. That was very, very nice of them.
Said it. You're making my point for me.
No, that's not true. Actually, you just made a crazy point because you said you don't know if they had nuclear weapons. The world, they have never acknowledged. Look it up. They have never acknowledged that they have nuclear weapons ever.
Everybody knows Israel has nuclear weapons.
If a country does not acknowledge it, that means they're hiding the fact that they have them. That means I am hiding the fact that I have nuclear bombs. I am not acknowledging. Every other country acknowledges that they have nuclear bombs. Everybody. Every other nuclear nation acknowledges the fact. Not Israel, because they are trying to hide their program. How many they have, what's going on with them, everything. It's a fact. That's why. But anyway, like I said, man, if it's me and you kill my defense minister, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to goad me into a war. You don't think that the Mossad tried to told Trump, who is a gopher who'll do anything for a couple dollars? We all know that. So
why did Obama assassinate that one guy? What was his name? I have to look that up.
Gaddafi?
Obama? No. It was. I think it was an Iranian.
I don't know about that one. I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about that at all. His name. But
I don't know if he was Iranian, but I know he was a bad guy over there. I mean, but it's because of what they do. It's something they did. You
don't kill a defense minister of another country on foreign soil. You don't do that. No, that's just, come on, man. That's like saying, why didn't someone kill Obama for killing Gaddafi? Why didn't someone kill that? Come on, we don't, because these are the kind of things that happen in war. This is part of the whole bigger picture, but there's certain things you don't do. He did that intentionally to try and goad him into a bigger conflict. That's a fact. But okay. So
Anwar al-Awlaki.
Well, wasn't he Al Qaeda?
Al Qaeda.
That's why he killed him, because he was allegedly an Al Qaeda. You know what I mean? He wasn't Iranian.
But why? Okay, hold on. But why?
Part of 9/11, because he was part of 9/11.
Okay,
he was part of 9/11. But
you're doing it in retaliation for something, right?
This is a terrorist.
That's
group.
Retaliation.
This is a terrorist group. This is a terrorist group. This is not a Fed. This is not a government. This is different. These are two separate. You know that we don't recognize groups that do not fly under a certain flag. That's an important aspect of like who falls under the what is it called, the Geneva Convention, all that. That's an important fact to that. They do not fly under a certain flag. There's no recognizable anything for them, so that's why they're not recognized the same way. You know this. Come on, you're military man. You know all this. I should have to say this. You should be saying this right now.
What?
You know, the fact of the matter is that's why they can hit terrorists, because they're not looked at as actual uniformed officers.
They're enemy combatants. They're enemy combatants.
But they're not looked at there. But they're not looked at as a foreign country that has the same aspects of that.
When a defense minister allows missiles to go in and strike American soldiers and kill American soldiers, he is an enemy combatant at that point. Period.
This is what I'm gonna say right here. I think that
is he not? Is he not?
I think I think that those are that's intelligence that can be disputed. We don't know if he did that or not. We're just saying that we think he did it. That's not saying that he did it for sure.
No, I guarantee you. We can say
anyone did anything at this point in time, and then we can go in and strike him for that. You know that to be true. There's no real facts that he did this. It's like, I mean, that's why America uses proxies and everybody else, like around the world. Everyone's been using them now. That's why we do this. So there's no direct contact between.
Have you ever dealt with intel before?
What kind of intel? Because we want to make this real clear, because now I know what you're going to try to get into right now. And I want to make sure that we understand what kind of intel you were dealing with right now.
I'm talking about
you dealt with intel. Like was a G5? Was a G5 class? Was a G5 classified intel you had, or what was it? You know what I mean? Don't tell me that you had to go pick up
when Qasem Soleimani sent missiles into Syria to kill Americans, which he did. The intel was there. The intel was there and used to take out that man, who at that point was.
Are you reading this? Are you just saying this off the top of your head?
No.
Are you saying off the top of your head?
Yeah.
So these are opinions. These are not facts. These are opinions.
But I'll guarantee you, I'll find the intel. And
people listen. You know what? You'll find someone who's owned by a certain people around the world who owns the news. And you know what I found strange to me? I watch CNN, right? I mean, CNN. I don't even like CNN. I wasn't watching the actual show. I was watching it on Instagram. They came out with all the video from the Mossad when they were in Iran, when they were blowing up the thing. They had all the intel, and the way they painted the picture of it was like, oh, they did this for this reason, and this is why this happened, and all this other stuff, right? This is what they did. They painted that perfect picture for some reason. Why? Because the intel they were given was from a certain source. You know what that source was? Think about it. You get what I'm saying? This is why things are painted in a certain light at all times. This is why I don't listen to any one news source. I got my own opinion on things.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you think that the federal government is going to go, hey, Wesley, check this out. Look at what we got here on Qasem Soleimani?
I didn't say they had to.
You think they're going to do that?
I don't say they had to. I don't think you have to, but I do think there are conditions there. I think there are certain things, accords that you follow when it comes to if someone strikes our defense minister, even though he probably sent in bombs to kill kids and whatever else in other countries, which is true, factual matter. Do you think that would be right? Like, oh, they killed our defense minister. Oh, yeah.
But isn't it a fact that that Hamas hides behind women and children? Yes.
Isn't it a fact that Israeli military does the same thing? Because I saw a video of them inside of a hospital, and they were hiding up inside of a hospital. Isn't that a fact? Isn't the fact that they put their nuke? That they
talking
about
the hospital that just got missiled the other day?
Before that even, before that even, isn't it a fact that they also put their a lot of their military installation installment stuff inside of their cities? They do that as well too. They try to hide it inside their cities. The same stuff that Israel says that other people do, they do it. That's what they are. They're gaslighters.
What was Israel's targets when they were bombing Iran?
Who's to say?
I don't know. I mean,
civilian targets. There were actually. Hold on. Oh, time out. They blew up an entire. Oh my goodness, man. This is tough to really talk about. I can't believe you haven't seen it. But they blew up an entire apartment complex. Talking about they're looking for one man, and it wasn't a small.
The one that went. It
was a huge one. It was a huge. Man, it was flattened. It was a huge. They blew up the entire. Man, it was flattened, man. I'm just being real with you. This is what they do. I watched them blow up a whole camp, kill 60 people in Gaza. Talking about they're looking for one person. He wasn't even there. I watched kids Gaza being killed. I'm just giving a separate. Okay. You know what I mean? This is what they do. This is who they are, and this is what they do. This is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Survival of the fittest, man. Survival of the fittest.
If that's where we are right now, this is me saying that. This is me saying that as our country, we should not be involved with them.
Threatened every single day. When a country is being threatened every single day,
they take your land, they come in and take your land, and then try to steal and continue to steal land, and they're threatening the people around them.
Their own land.
These are the bad guys. That's not their land. That's not their land. It's not their land. The West Bank is not there. The West Bank is not their land. Gaza is not their land. These people are there as well as them too. That was not their land. It was not their land. It was not what was given to them in the accord. When they sound the Belfort Accord, that was not what was given to them.
It's still part of Israel, is it not? Is it
the West Bank? The West Bank was it was partitioned and sold to them because it was partitioned and sold to them because again they involved themselves in a foreign war. The same they did to the Germans. It's the reason why the Germans, same reason why Hitler had the situations he had with them. They turned on the Germans.
What country is the West Bank?
Is this not true? Is this not true?
What country?
It was in Palestine. It was in Palestine before it was bought because you just like the Rothschild said, hey, we are the reason that the Balfour Accord even happened because they bought it. Because who are they? Bankers. Yet again,
Israel was there a long time before Palestine. Okay,
be real here.
Period.
Be real here.
Period.
I believe the Jews were there a long time before they were. I believe the Jews were there. I believe the Jews were there alongside the people who were, whether they were called Palestinians or whoever they were called, they're people from the Middle East, and they were all there and they coincided in that area together. Not these same Jews who are here now. A lot of them, though, some of the same bloodlines are still there. I think a lot of them probably dispersed. They probably got driven out. Things probably happened, but that's what was going on there. Here, plain and simple. So and they bought the land. They bought the land basically from governments who didn't even own it themselves. They were only basically there like sitting on the land. Britain didn't really own that property. They owned it. They ran a lot of the world after a minute. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, fact of the matter is this right here. We're involved with a foreign government who is wagging the dog, who's leading us into conflicts that we should not be involved in. That's my personal opinion of the matter. I think that Trump is a puppet president who's done everything that he said he was not going to do. He's done it. Everything he said he wasn't going to do, he's done it. He's done a lot of things he said he was going to do too. Don't get me wrong. Like he's got people in our streets right now dressed like goons, snatching people off the street, no matter if they're citizens or whoever. Snatch them up. Give me your ID. Give me your this. Give me your that. And we're good with that. Sounds like the Brown.
You know what else we have?
Sounds like.
You know what else we have? We have cities, counties, states making sure that people that have been deported multiple times and convicted of multiple crimes being let go.
Being let go.
I
haven't seen that happening. I don't think.
Holy shit!
I haven't
see it.
I haven't seen that. I mean, I go places that have like are large cities. I'm not seeing. Oh, these people are here. Just swaths of them are here illegally.
It happened in Portland, your home state.
I'm not from Portland. I'm from Washington State. Actually,
Portland is in Oregon. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
But but I'm not going to use that against you. 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 I understand. It happens. It happens. It's crazy that we sit back and we try to say liberal states are bad, but these are the guys paying all the taxes around here. These are the states paying all the taxes. You know what I mean? The alleged conservative states. Oh, Oregon pays into it too. The alleged conservative states. Conservative can't even pay their own bills because they're not truly conservative. It's a storyline that you guys have sold to poor people. You guys have sold them on oh, you don't deserve anything, but you should vote for us. You guys sold them on that line.
This coming from a guy who the best thing the Democrats could pull out is Lizzo and Beyonce and Oprah, and had to pay millions of dollars for a failed candidate.
Are you talking about Hulk Hogan? Who are we talking about again? Let's talk about it again. Dr. Oz. Are we serious right now?
Guess who won though? Who won? Who won?
Now? Yeah, absolutely. And now we're looking at the consequences.
They didn't pay him that much.
We're looking at the consequences of who won.
Dr. Oz is running for office.
We've done. I've watched real life people who I know were Trumpers, like straight Trumpers, turn like, you know what? I'm watching this whole entire consortium of MAGA go against him. A bunch of pundits like, man, this is not what we voted for you for. This is not what we were about. This is not what you said you were about. Because he's doing everything. Man, dude's a capitalist. He's like, he's capitalizing on everything he possibly can. He's stealing
every administration. You guys let a senile old man,
not like this,
senile old man run the country.
We let a senile old man take us to the point to where we thrived.
A breaking point.
A breaking point of what? What was breaking? What was breaking? Please tell me.
He was breaking.
We're at a point. We're 6 months. We're 4 or 5 months.
You let an old senile man have the nuclear codes.
Are we? So we're not talking about deranged.
We're not talking about
what is it called when you bipolar? We're a deranged bipolar person. We're talking about one day he'll say, "I'm going to stop there needs to be better immigration policies on the farmers and everybody else," and the next day he comes out, "Oh, I'm not doing it." This dude's are you kidding right now? No, I'd rather have Joe Biden over him any day. Joe Biden, the things that Joe Biden got passed.
Oh, that's right. How
many bills? How many bills did Joe?
Know he signed it.
How many bills did Trump gotten passed yet with a majority in the Senate and the House? How many has he gotten passed? How many? What has he gotten passed thus far?
He got something passed to the House.
Oh my God! That's you know what else passed in the House too? You know what else passed in the House by Republican rule? You know what else? I mean, I'll say Democrats voted for it too.
What did you say about my some comment earlier? You said some. I'm going to say he got something done. He has some done. Okay,
and listen, that doesn't. I said, bills passed. That doesn't count. It's like saying, okay, remember when Republicans went on the steps of Columbia University, and they all were sitting there talking about, oh, you guys are sitting here anti-Semitic rhetoric.
It is a bill that passed. It is a bill that passed the House of Representatives.
Yes, it was. Yes. Was it for freedom
of bill? I know you know. I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill. I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. It was passed. It hasn't gotten signed.
That was during the Trump administration. Actually, you're talking about the big beautiful bill, right? The one that everyone's come out and said, "Oh, we don't want to touch this." Even Republicans have come out like, you know what? Yeah, this is going to be good for us.
It got passed in the House
by one vote. Yeah, they did. But by when they all coming out, I didn't know this was in the bill. If I would have known this was in the bill, I wouldn't have voted for it. You know what I mean? You got everybody saying that right now because it's the reward. It basically gave. They voted for a bill that gave the power of the president, saying that he didn't even need the legislative branch to pass to do what he wants to do with the budget. They passed the bill like that, man. then you're happy, you're clapping for a bill that took away the power of the legislative branch to say, hey, president, you have to come to us first before you want to do this.
The Dems are taking away the power of the executive branch.
Crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
What have we gone to?
Where have we gone? Away the power of the executive branch. Holy shit! It's crazy.
This has always been a thing. This is not new. Crazy. They've done it. They've done it to everybody. Did it to Biden when he wanted to pass the
not like this.
Because no one's ever come out and tried to just do anything he wanted to do like this before. No one's ever done this before. No president ever.
Where were we gonna go? Where were we gonna go with that? Where were you gonna go? What was Biden trying to pass?
You know where it was. You know where he tried to pass. That's the only thing. Yeah,
the education. That wasn't a bill.
For the people. It wasn't a bill. It wasn't a bill. He made an executive order. Exactly. He made an executive order saying that, hey, he made an executive order saying that this, but it all pertains to them trying to take away the power.
It was unconstitutional.
In fact, but let me ask a question here. Was that for the people? Was that saying, hey, let me help the people?
It was only people.
Let me the people of our country who went and got educations, which is good for our country. Is that not good for a nation?
No. It's not good for a nation. It's not good when you have to raise taxes on people that didn't go to college, have to pay for the assholes who went to college for a degree.
Went to college. The assholes who went to college. The ones of us who are, you know what they tell us nowadays? We're going to need education.
Right here. I'm an asshole.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Me personally, you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather pay a little bit more
for that degree. Why?
I'd rather pay a little bit more taxes to see our people educated in this nation and healthy in this nation than sit back and pay more taxes to watch the wealthy steal more money. That's a fact. I'd rather do that any day, shape, or form. You got plenty of countries. Look at what China said. They said you guys are just mad because over the last three decades, you basically took the money that you guys were making out of this deal and you gave it to the wealthy. When we took our money and we reinvested it.
You just got done saying it. Those people who did not get a college education, it's okay to tax them for not going to school.
I think that we should have a.
You're going to tax them for not going to school.
I think that we should have a. I think
is that really what you think?
Am I taxing them for not going to school? Do I tax everybody for using roads that they may not even use?
So you're basically
I tax everybody. There's a lot of things. I don't think it's a punishment. I don't think it's a punishment at all. Do you not believe that education leads to a greater nation? Do you not believe that?
No, not anymore. Our education system here sucks.
Wow.
Our colleges suck.
We have the number one colleges in the world here in our country, man.
Do you know that there's a lot more people out there looking for people without college educations than they are with college educations?
I don't know about that.
Those kids are getting college education and nothing.
What are the first jobs that are going to be out the door? Out the door. What does everyone talk about? We should get involved in right now. AI, trades, engineering, this, that, and the third. Trades. I mean, only trades. Okay, so trade, because we have to understand this too at the same time. There's a vast majority of people who are not very smart. There's a lot of them. There's a lot more not very smart people than there are going to be people who actually can actually accomplish shit. That's part of life. Excuse my language. That's just normal. That's just a normal thing. We have to understand that. There's going to be a lot of people.
Why should they suffer and pay other people?
I don't think they're suffering. I think a country that has a highly educated.
Why should you pay for other people?
What you should do is look at countries that have.
It is a debt. Do you think it's okay if somebody else pays for your car bill?
That's totally separate. That's
no,
totally different. That's an individual use thing. So you're trying to tell me that doctors don't help?
Degree.
Is a college degree
not an individual use thing?
So you're trying to tell me that doctors do not help your country? Nurses do not help your nation. Engineers do not help your nation. Like, we can go down the list. What are we saying? What are we saying? No, it does matter. It does. So
you're saying a plumber who didn't go to school.
That's a trade school. You know what I also believe.
Some rich person.
You know what I also believe. Hold on. You know what I also believe, that trade schools should be free too, as well. I believe that. I do.
What if you didn't get a chance to go to trade school?
That should be. I think we should have more of them. We should have more trade schools. We should have more things that we're going to need. You
should never punish somebody and make somebody pay somebody else. I don't think
that's punishment. I don't think that's punishment.
Yes, it is.
That's punishment at all.
You are punishing somebody.
So every tax is a punishment. Then every single tax is a punishment. That's your theory.
Yes,
every tax is a punishment.
Actually, it is.
Or does it embetter? Or does it embetter your nation? So should we not have to pay for armed services? That's a punishment then too, right? Shouldn't have to pay for that. Correct? Everything is a punishment. Let's not use that kind of the rhetoric and the ideology just don't match up. It just doesn't.
That's
No, okay, it just doesn't. It's a fact.
It's BS.
It's a fact.
No, it's not.
So why should we have to pay for an army then? We should have standing militias of people who want to volunteer then, right?
Do you think there's more people with college degrees than there are without?
No, of course not.
No,
of course there's a lot more
people
who do not.
But why should those people have to pay for it? Why? Answer the question. Answer the question. Why should they have to pay for it?
Just like I said before, I believe the trade schools should be free.
You're not answering the question.
I am answering the question. I'm telling you what my belief is.
I'm asking you a question. Why should the people that have not gone to school and go to secondary education pay for somebody that did?
Because I believe it creates a greater society. That's my answer for it. I believe that you have people who create medicines, right? Who are they normally?
How many people do you think
people who create medicines? I have no idea. I have no idea. I can't. I'm not going to make up facts of things that I don't know and just say, oh, this. I don't know. But what I'm saying is,
near as worth as what it used to be.
I don't think a lot of things are near as worth as they used to be. Now you got AI and everything else coming on board. But you know what? Education is. You know what? Educated people don't do commit crimes as much. That's a fact. What educated people do, they add more to the economy. That's a fact. They make more money. That's a fact. Come on. These are
make
facts.
Somebody else pay for it.
I think we all pay for everything for everyone. That's a part of being a part of a society. That's a part of it. We pay for things for other people that we may not use. I may not use this bridge.
Okay. All right. Here's another question. What about the people that did pay off their debts already?
So what? That's a pass. You know what I mean? So who cares? What I'm gonna do? Give me the money back for it? So we should pay them reparations. Should we pay them reparations for it? Should we repair them for that?
If you're gonna pay off somebody else's stuff,
you know what? I have no problem with that either. Then if that's what needs to be done, then that's what we need to do. But me personally, we pay for public schools. I pay taxes on property for schools that I do not use. You know why? Because I believe in a greater society. That's why. My kids don't go there. I don't go there. I don't use that.
Your money is helping fail those children.
Because we have. That's not. I mean, we act like people. So let our kids not know how to read, write, or do anything. We act like our schools are so bad they just don't know anything.
They are terrible.
It's not factual. Stop it. We're like sixth in the world. We're like sixth. I think we're like sixth in the world.
About the school that she goes to, that she teaches.
You know what? You know what? And I guarantee you, those kids know 10 times more than what kids who went to school during our time knew, because they have a lot more access to information.
All they do is factual. This. They do this all day because they're allowed to.
You know what? I mean, honestly, that's not on the teacher.
They don't.
These people are these young people are way more educated, making way more money. Look at, man, come on, let's just stop it. You know, this is. I mean, we're acting like these people do not know more, have not done more, have not. It's just not. It's not factual. I don't understand. We're tougher. We're harder. We're this. I get it. I see that too. I know that. But education-wise, these kids know some stuff. Watch them. They know something. Oh, I digress. You know what I mean?
You need to spend some time in a school.
Don't get me wrong.
It's bad. It's bad.
But a lot of the stuff that we're looking at is
I have
basic.
A daughter who's a teacher. High school teacher.
A lot of the stuff that we're looking at. A lot of the stuff we're looking at is basic stuff. Though. Like we'll be like, oh, so who was the third president of the United States? They don't know it.
They don't even know English, man. They can't even go through an English class and get a passing grade. There's lots of people who didn't go through English classes and get passing grades. We know that things are different now, but we also know these kids are a lot more. I mean, why is our technology getting better then? Why are things around us growing? If these people we're getting dumber and dumber, why are things getting smarter and smarter? Because the older people are helping to do it.
Oh. Half the older people don't even know how to use technology. I don't even know anything. Give these older guys a smartphone. They're like, oh, I don't know.
I turned 54 years old the other day.
I'm talking about myself too. Okay, I don't know how to use a lot of this stuff either.
Well,
happy belated birthday to you.
Yeah, thank you. But that's because you're computer illiterate. You're computer illiterate. That's why. I mean, you can't even get my sound working on this thing.
And he said, just because you're computer illiterate. I ain't gonna lie, I probably am to a degree, you know what I mean? But I know how to do things. I don't care. You said it might be true, might not be true. I'm not gonna sit back and debate that fact. But what I'm saying is, these little young kids, 2 or 3 years old, they know how to use all this stuff. They can sit back and turn your phone on and delete all. I've seen it. firsthand, man. I don't want to sit back and push them down like they're just dumb. They may not know things that we know, but some of the stuff that we know doesn't really matter.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying all kids are dumb.
It's sounding like it right now. It's kind of sounding like you said they can't read. They don't know basic English. What are we talking about?
They don't. They don't.
Not all of them.
I've seen
some of them don't. Some of them don't.
I've seen some of the stuff that my wife brings home from school, and it scares me. It scares me.
It's because we're at an age right now we're at. Where I bet you if we look back on ourselves young, that would have scared me too. I looked at me like, Jesus Christ,
they can't even.
What am I
they
thinking
can't
about?
write cursive, man. They can't write cursive.
You know, I mean, that's like
it looks like hieroglyphics.
Hey, listen, do you know how many times I wrote? You know how many times I write cursive in my life? Only when I'm signing something. Only when I'm signing something. That's about to be gone pretty soon too. That's not even important. Tell me the importance. Tell me the greatest importance that you use for cursive writing. With all this time we spent in class, teach me how to balance a checkbook or not even a checkbook.
Because you know what I'm saying? They're writing with their hand like this.
No, they're probably writing like this and like this nowadays because this is what people are doing. This is how fast how things are moving around here. They can just talk into their phone now. This is where we're at now. We didn't have any of that, so we had to learn cursive like it mattered. Like, you don't know how to write cursive. I'm like, well, Jesus, let me see what job is dedicated to writing cursive.
Leslie, the jury's still out on you. The jury's still out on you. Okay.
About what? Tell me. What are jury's still out about? What?
By the way, it's nuclear, not nuclear.
Okay, nuclear, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got it right. Maybe I got it right. Nuclear. That's what I say. I say nuclear. I say nuclear.
It's not.
I say nuclear. I don't say nuclear bomb. That's a nuclear.
That's what it is.
I speak a little. I might have like a little bit of a lisp. Jesus, is there something? Maybe.
Oh my God, you got more than a list, buddy.
It's possible.
You got a lot of problems.
But right now, I believe to you, I'm supposed to because I'm listening to your arguments around here. I will hope and pray to God that I have a lot of problems when you're thinking about where my mind should be. I'm listening to you like Jesus. This is where we're at now. This is where America has come to. But I want to go ahead and close it down here. Right now, I've had a great show, but like I said, man, it's a horrible thing that we're getting involved in. I won't say all foreign wars.
I don't like conflict. I'm not somebody who wants to actively see another country get bombed. But I also have to sit there and go, if this is, and it's an if. It's not a reality, but it's a big if. If a country like Iran, who is a state sponsor of terrorism, and I know where you're going to go with that because the United States and blah, 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 everybody else, but they are a disruptor in the region, and that is a fact, okay? Mm-hmm. That is a known fact. I don't want my future to be dictated by some crazy MFer who thinks that anybody that's not Muslim should be wiped off the face of the earth.
I don't think you should say that because you should not say that when I just gave you facts just now and you looked it up that the second largest Jewish population in the Middle East is located in Iran.
It's not about just Jews. It's not about just Israel.
You said anyone who's not. I know, but you just said anyone who believes that anyone who is not. You're saying the Ayatollah believes that anyone who is not Jew, who is not Muslim should be wiped off the face of earth, and he has people in his nation who are not Muslim. So that is not true. You can't say that. It's like you can say anything you want, but
they
it's
have
not
said
true.
that.
Well, let's say this. We got people like Kim Jong.
Fact. That is
have
fact.
They done it? Okay. Like we got people who say, I won't say that they said it. I don't know for a fact that they've said that anyone who is not Muslim should be wiped off the earth because why didn't they do it?
They have people in the United States a great Satan, for Christ's sake.
Because when you kill my people and you do things to me, like I'm going to say certain things. I can't do nothing to you. If you're killing my people and I can't attack you, I'm going to say the worst possible thing I can say too. So my people at least believe in me that we can defend ourselves against a person that we cannot. It's impossible. Another thing I'm going to say is this. I mean, like I say, I don't want to get too far into it, but me personally, I really don't like the fact of how things are turning out in the Middle East, and it should not be this way, but they are. But I really wish that we were not allowing our country to be wagged by another country because it looks horrible for us.
You want to hear a great stat? I'll give you one last stat before we go.
Okay.
The U.S. State Department currently lists Iran, Syria, North Korea, and Cuba as state sponsors, the top 4 in the world.
Yeah, I wonder Cuba. Oh, wow, my God, I'm so worried about their state sponsor of terrorism. They live right off our shore. Why have we got them? Syria. Listen, the country we destabilized.
They got all those 1950s cars down there, man.
You know what I
never
mean?
know what they're going to do with them.
They can't even rolling blackouts. Oh my God, they're sponsoring. They got money to sponsor terrorists all over the place. Syria just got a regime change. I mean, right? Let's be that. You know what I mean?
They
like,
helped kill Kennedy.
Who helped kill Kennedy? I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know if it was
that.
them or not. You know Jack Ruby. You remember what Jack Ruby was, don't you? You know what I mean? A sick who? What was he? Yeah, remember that too.
He was mafia, wasn't he? Wasn't he mafia?
Jack Ruby was.
He was mafia.
I don't like to say it. He might have been, but he was probably. But he was a Jewish man.
He was not Jewish, was he?
Look up Jack Ruby. Yes, he was.
Jack Ruby was not Jew.
Look him up. I don't like I don't even like to say stuff like this because I feel like I'm being, you know what I mean, a conspiracy theorist by saying this, but it's a fact. I've looked it up already. I was surprised. I was like, wow,
he was Jewish. Jacob Leon Rubenstein. Wow. Ooh,
soon as Kennedy said, let us look at your nuclear facilities for the stuff that you stole from us. They're like, oh, nope. Next thing you know, there ain't no more Kennedy around here. No more. There's no longer Kennedys. And the next one, they knocked him down too. But hey, with that, folks, we'll go ahead and end this segment of today's Civil Discourse. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve. We appreciate you guys for joining in.
Thank you very much. Have a great one, Wesley.
All right.